Hey everybody, yes, it's Ned over my Philippine Dreams, N to the E to the D over at MPD, and yes, I am wearing the same exact outfit that I was wearing in yesterday's video because it's actually being done in the same day. Yesterday I published the video on Filipinos and Facebook relative to my short-lived Philippines dating experience. And as I noted, although I personally abhor Facebook, it is a useful tool when it comes to the dating selection process. For that particular video and the article, you can actually go down to the video description box and check them out. And as I noted, the reason Facebook is handy is it allows you some ability to separate the good from the bad from the ugly. I myself am looking for a real relationship. I want to meet someone, I want to fall in love, I want to get married, and I want to have a few kids. 2 kids. Towards that end and trying to achieve that goal, I'm not interested in casual relationships or spending time with people who don't want the same thing. Basically, I am looking for a good girl and trying to avoid the bad girls or those simply wanting a roll in the hay, or in the case of the Philippines, a sugar cane. And as luck would have it, I also found that some Filipinos actually have categories for all those noted above. The good, the bad, and the duckly. Another great takeaway from my time dating in the Philippines was learning how Filipinos classify prospective mates. And I think this isn't something that's just local here. I think this is something around the world, but I just want to talk about it anyway. In short, they are rather stereotypically labeled as good boy, bad boy, or duck boy. And I say duck boy, but you know what I mean. And in this enlightened age of equality between the genders, the fairer sex and the less fair sex, this branding can also readily be conferred to the fairer sex, making them either good girls, bad girls, or duck girls. There are, of course, a bazillion exceptions to these terms. Man, the mosquitoes are bad today. Not everyone is always a good boy, or a bad boy, or a duck boy. Due to the vagaries of the human condition, those roles sometimes morph into one or the other, with a good boy perhaps having one too many Pilsens and transforming into a duck boy for the night, or a bad boy suddenly hopping off his stolen motor scooter to help an old lady who has spilled her groceries. Now, and this is kind of cool, this is actually, I felt good about this. During my time dating and courting, I actually had 2 ladies actually say that I was a good boy. Not having any idea what that meant, I kind of stood there confused and could only think of, they were referring to me as some type of dog. Because he's a good boy. He's a good boy. Yes, he is. Now, what's cool is now because they're still friends of mine, I get to joke about it and we get to have a good time with it. So I was kind of confused and I asked them about it. And after the distinction between good boy and bad boy was made, I was actually secretly pleased and like a bit honored. Sounds weird, right? But that's just me. In fact, the other night I saw one of the gals and I said, hey, I'm a good boy, right? And she said 100%. Now that's all nice and everything, but it was only later that I learned that good boys can also be a bit naive and a bit torpe. Torpe in Tagalog, Filipino, is like stupid, sheepish when it comes to relationships in the Philippines. And after they told me that kind of made sense too. Now with all that out of the way, here's a quick and dirty overview of these 3 distinct relational archetypes. I've also noted their natural habitats and what they might offer in the way of courtship gifts during the dating process. In no particular order, they are good boys. Good boys are basically the guys that a gal wants to bring home to meet her parents. They are loyal, upstanding, honest, considerate, and just generally all around good dudes. On the downside, they are also a bit naive about some things. They kind of lack in street smarts and can be readily manipulated by bad girls and duck girls. Good boys generally take their studies very seriously and are pretty much career and family oriented. They tend not to spend too much time out partying with friends and are more concerned with spending quality time with their own extended familial unit. Good boys are the guys women want to marry. They might enjoy partying with the occasional bad boys or rendezvousing with a duck boy or 2 along the way, but it's a good boy that they eventually want to settle down with. As for their natural habitats, good boys can usually be found in university study halls, volunteering at hospitals, or helping Lolas cross the street. Courting gifts for good boys might include Toblerone chocolate bars, flowers, or the occasional heartfelt harana, which is basically that courtship song I've talked about before. Alright, now with good boys out of the way, let's get into bad boys. Bad boys can be seen as those living on the edge and celebrating life basically on the wild side. They are tough, fearless, street savvy, and don't give too much thought to traditional pakikisama, which is the smooth interpersonal relationship. Bad boys are rough, a bit feral, and are not to be crossed. Some have done time, and some are looking forward to doing time. They can punch a motorcycle ignition in less than 15 seconds, punch you out basically in even less time, and can find you virtually anything you are looking for, if you get my drift. For some reason, they also seem to be really bad karaoke singers, and are most often the guy warbling and shrieking away to some sad Tagalog love song. Hey, go figure. Women are attracted to bad boys because they think that they can change them. They usually can't. Now, the natural habitat for bad boys, you can usually find them stealing your scooter. You can find them at the local probation office, or huffing glue and guzzling Red Horse down by the waterfront. Courting gifts that bad boys will sometimes confer upon Filipinas include provincial jail ID bracelet, here's my jail ID baby, a magnum of Red Horse, a balisong butterfly knife, and the occasional sachet of shabu. And with good boys, bad boys out of the way, let's get into the third out of this unholy triad, duck boys. Duck boys are the penultimate players, wandering from one gal to the next, planting their seeds and moving on. They're basically butterflies, they're basically chick boys. For the duck boy, the hunt is more important than the actual relationship, and the thrill for them comes in the chase. Their conquests are many, their deeds are sung by the gods, and they've usually got more than one ex-girlfriend's angry brother after them at any one time. Although pathogenic, some duck boys are actually quite good at hiding their predatory nature, couching the reality behind a variety of false fronts. They are charming, can be nice, but are generally only concerned with one thing: separating women from their panties. As to the natural habitat of the duck boy, you can usually find them eyeing potential prey from the dark corner of a dingy discotheque, such as Why Not, receiving antibiotic shots at the local health clinic, or making the beast with two backs with your wife or girlfriend while you're at work. Courting gifts for a duck boy might include, but are not limited to, slightly used condoms, KY lubricant jelly, and various and sundry STDs. Alright, so that's a quick overview of good boys, bad boys, and duck boys. What's been your experience with either the boys or the girls? I had some fun doing this one. Thanks for coming along. What are your experiences? Make sure you leave them down in the comment section. Give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, share, do all that stuff. Subscribe. This is Ned over at My Philippine Dreams, getting overwhelmed by mosquitoes. I'll see you next time. Be careful out there. A balisong butternut.